Okay. I hope this recording doesn't freeze too soon. Because I think the rain shifted from being light rain to being somewhat hard rain. So this is another filming in the rain. Tonight's destination is down the street, over those tracks, into Clinton. Interesting, this is just anecdotal, but this house here, you can see it right here. We had a friend way back in the day in elementary school. My cousins Aaron and I had the same friend because their moms knew each other. And he lived there. I think his name was Tony. I'm not 100% sure. And Tony was like 2 grades lower than me. And this was when... So I think I met Zarin when I was in 5th or 6th grade is when I met him. Because I didn't like grow up. Well, I grew up with him, but we weren't babies. My cousin, because he's one of my natural cousins that I met. Anyway, the house over there that I filmed, that one, our mutual friend lived there, and we would meet up there a lot. And play video games and whatever. I remember the Tony kid, he was like, at some point we stopped hanging out with him, or at least we stopped going over there. I don't even know if that's actually what his name was. I think it was Tony. Anthony, Tony, or whatever. But he was weird, and his mom was weird. Well, they were both just weird. We can see my breath on the camera. That's just a reason part of it, I think, because I know they moved at some point, and there's been like a gazillion families. You know, I wonder if the rent there is cheap. I wouldn't live there. I live in that house, but I wouldn't live on that house in that street. Because the only claim to fame there is, oh, there's Smiths. And I don't even like Smiths anymore. I really hope this film doesn't freeze in the filming process like it did last night. I was walking home and finishing up the video, and I fucking froze. Oh, like the last 3 or 4 minutes. This is still just light rain. Light rain can still do enough damage to your phone. Oh, I have the light turned on. If you couldn't tell, to kind of help navigate this crazy fucking place at night in the rain. So this corner here is super interesting. And it's not really an important part of my life, but it's kind of metaphorical in a metaphorical way, symbolic of my journey. Leaving Utah, coming back to Utah. There used to be a house here, and the main entryway faced this part of the street. There was an ugly, shitty, salmon pink colored house. And I remember going in and filming in there, getting pictures. This is back in like 2017, like 2018, probably. And it was on several phones ago, so I've lost that data. But for the first few months living here, moving out here in 2017, that house was there. It didn't look like anybody was living there. Their guard dog, was there. There's a cop just hanging out. And then after a bit, it looked like it was abandoned. Like nobody was living there. Nobody was, that's not a cop car. Cop cars aren't shaped like that. And after a while, it just looked like nobody was living there. And then before you know it, they came in, they demolished it. But we went in and filmed before they demolished it. Of course, a lot of the walls and things were taken down. They're probably sitting there doing drugs. They're gonna swing by and ask me what I'm filming. Why are you holding your camera that way, bruh? Why are you filming? This once great tennis court replaced the fucking pickleball. I love how the shitty fucking camera on this phone always defaults back to photo. When I was several phones ago, it would default back to the last thing I was using, which was video. I cut the first bit of this video to test, to see if it kept any of those recordings or not. I think what I was going to do is walk down that way and then come up this way, because I would end up coming closer to home, but oh well. It turned out this way. I think a lot of times, I was talking about in the other filming, my first filming in the rain video, is getting sick when it rains. And I think that happens mostly when you're a kid around other kids who are already sick. So then you get sick. This house up here, I fucking hate this house. This is the house where the fucking... Oh, she doesn't have her pride flag up anymore. I guess she's not an ally anymore. Yeah, she presumed my gender and orientation. I don't like this house here. They sick their dog on people who ever walk by. But they'll sit there and pretend like they're trying to keep it under control, and I'm like, I mean, that thing is vicious. I can tell that is a dog that's been fucking trained to bite. To bite people. Well, anyway, as what I've noticed from getting older is I don't get sick as much. Because when you're a kid, you have to go to school. Your parents want you to go to school, to be gone. Unless you're like Andy's parents, or at least his mom. It's like, oh my God, you have a mild case of a runny nose. We need to keep you home. Any excuse to make her kids malleable and brain dead and, easier to manipulate. His dad at least wanted them to have a head on their shoulders, His mom, she's such a cunt. Sorry, not sorry. The rain sure is pouring. Jesus. I really hope my footage doesn't freeze or my phone doesn't crap out by the time I really get down into Clinton. That would really suck. I remember having to do gym class, just running down and turning like in a long rectangular shape, the vicinity of the suburbs for makeup gym. So I did not like my middle school gym teacher. I thought he was a creep and a weirdo. He didn't like me because I had bad vibes about him. I called him out on it. And of course, you know what adults do when kids get too close to the truth? They pull out their, well, they're just a kid. Well, if I was really like that, would I really be employed here? Him and that art teacher, she was an asshole. I mean, her art, looking back, was not that great. But she expected us all to be little fucking Salvador Dalis and Picassos and... Actually, no, because that's expression. That's like creative. She wanted you to be textbook bland, have no creativity. We get extra credit for turning in a drawing with a source, a reference, which I did something, I copied it straight from the reference. And she didn't like it. She's like, the mountains are unrealistic. And I'm like, that's how they look in the fucking source, in the reference. And I showed her, she didn't care. She was like, she's like, well, it's unrealistic. I'm like, were we supposed to copy from the reference, just, you know, draw it? Then why have a fucking reference if it's not good enough? And you're just gonna sit here and say, well, it's not realistic enough. These people finally moved out. These people here. This street, part of the street's infamous for having dead raccoons. I didn't know for the longest time that Clinton or Utah had raccoons. And the first one I saw, it was dead. They're just lying there, dead as a doornail, just dead. I'm gonna resume filming when I... Just in case y'all don't believe me that it's raining. It is absolutely raining. Oh my god. Here's our friend Blinky the Light here in Clinton. I love times like this because it's completely devoid of people. I must be insane because I'm like the only person right now who's out and about without an umbrella. I have really no business being out here. I'm out here because I want to be. And it really puts you, the rain and the cold, the darkness of night, the solitude of everything, really, to me, conveys this feeling of nostalgia, or, well, actually conveys this feeling, it incites a feeling of thoughtfulness that then conveys solitude, or conveys thoughtfulness which then invokes nostalgia. Boy, turning 40, I'm sure nostalgic about a lot of stuff. I'm sure nostalgic for a lot of stuff. We're gonna walk up here to get to an awning or overhang, something, before my phone freezes or whatever. And we can just film huddled under here for a bit. I'm sure it's fine. There's literally nobody here. Oh my God. The overhangs aren't solid. Oh, okay. I really hope it doesn't freeze like it did last night. That's my breath. That's how cold it is right now. Oh my God. The park. I used to think that was the park we used to play at, me and my cousin. But the park I'm thinking of is like the West Park or whatever in Roy. Down the tracks, past the high school. Before you get to the high, or whatever, like past the high, because you're going to the high school, then over the tracks, past it. I think it's called West Park, I think. That's the one we would always play at, because every time we go there, there'd be nobody there, so it'd be like our little secluded nook of the world. I don't think it counts as light rain anymore. I think this is definitely heavy rain. Oh, leaving this area, it makes it... Yeah, the rain... Whew. Walking back is going to be a slog. I can do it. I did it last night. I can do it tonight. Of course, I wasn't as far away last night as I am tonight. I was going to originally... I think it's raining too hard for me to really film. If I was in a car, that would be different. I was going to walk down here and through the park. I still might. I don't know. Oh my God. Yeah, going out in the rain in wintertime to film. Well, I thought this idea for a new film series would take off. That would be a good idea. How many people go out and film in the rain? I thought I was crazy for doing that. I guess there's actually hundreds of people who do that on YouTube. Okay, ended that recording, tested it to make sure it didn't freeze. My feet are completely fucking soaked. My shoes, socks, soggy. The good thing is that if I decide this is it, no more filming in the rain for me, I at least got 2 videos worth out of it. So there's that. We're not going to intentionally step in any big puddles. I didn't intentionally step in any last night. It just sort of happened. Like, oh, cool. Now my feet are really cold and soaked. I think just walking out in nature in your own gives way to a lot of free thinking, feeling nostalgic. It's like when you have good friends in your life, you have to support them. Because if you don't think of them as a friend, then they're not a friend. You know? If you don't think of this person as a friend, then they're not a friend. We filmed over here before. Since I'm in the area and it's dark and spooky and raining, it's the perfect setting. When cops come flying out of nowhere. This place, oh my God, is all dilapidated and deteriorated. I can't tell if that was someone's house or just like a tool shed. Technically, I wasn't on the other side of the no trespassing private property thing. Because people use that dirt, that mud area to pull out all the time. The last time I filmed there, it wasn't as distorted as it is now. There's a worm. Some more worms. Like you couldn't really see into the front of it. I was like, hey, why don't I film that? And I think it's wild, that one random day at the park, that one guy, I think his name is Jason, the disc golf guy. He's like, I want to get disc golf going as a thing, and I'm like, I was like, you know, impressed, because he had everything planned out, and I was like, right on. You know, if you live in Clinton and you're passionate about it, do it. You know, we've never lived in Clinton, so, but I'll be damned, it got fucking, the motion passed. They implemented the disc golf things. I never see anybody playing. I mean, it's like his own fucking private play yard. But I might come into Clinton more, moving to Clearfield, because there's exits to Clinton from Clearfield and Sunset, unlike Roy. And where I'm at now in Roy, it's just like a bad dream that I'm waiting to wake up from. I know it's possible, I know it's doable, because I got out of Sunset. When I say never lived in Clinton, I mean we never did. I did. So I was living in that technically not supported house with everyone, because it had barely running utilities, and I talked about this months ago. I think I was walking through Clinton or Clearfield when I mentioned it. See, this place still has a concessions building. That's where people go to the bathroom. Primarily. Oh, someone's fucking dog, of course. You find cars parked out here at all hours of the day and night. I don't know if there's any cars parked here right now, but I'm trying to turn the light off. I bet these bathrooms are closed, but if they're not, I like to wash my hands and yeah, they've got the big, they don't lock them, they just barricade them so no one can enter them until springtime, and then it's okay. Surprised there's no cars here. They almost always have cars here at all hours of the night waiting for their, because this is a very popular area for drug dealing. I don't know why, since the cops are just right over there. I guess because at night and early in the morning when you're over here, you're kind of camouflaged from the city buildings, which includes the cops. People call me paranoid, but like, what do you think those cars are doing idling there at the park? Or just sitting there with their engine off? They're doing drugs, it's a hookup, or they're selling drugs, doing a drug deal. If it's just weed, whatever. I guarantee you it ain't just weed. That's why they're meeting out here in the fucking park. Well, since the rain's died down a bit, we'll make this a longer venture than I had originally thought. So I don't know if I'm going to film in the park. I don't know if I'm going to film around town. Well, we have our answer. The gods have spoken. You know, sometimes they do look down upon me favorably. Sometimes they do take pity on me and say, you know what? Let's cut him a tiny little break. Let's throw him a tiny bone. I was talking earlier in this video about my cousin Zarin. Him and our, I say ex-mutual friend Tony, because we haven't seen or heard from him in decades. It's easily been over 20 years at this point, at least for me. I think Zarin kept a little contact with him because him and his mom, Tony and his mom, moved kind of where, in Clearfield, kind of near where Zarin and his mom were at the time. So they were able to still be friends. God, look at this fucking thing. I don't know Utah's version of a fucking definition of a dugout. Dirt. All just dirt. They've been cooking in here recently. I can smell it. I can smell it. Cheeseburger combo. Cheeseburger, fries, and soda. $10. Honey, that's a fucking ripoff. A lot of these places here have good food, but they're charging as much, if not more, than what McDonald's charges. You could come here and get fucking A hamburger was $1.50 or $2. And no, a hamburger was $1. Cheeseburger was $1.50. A corn dog was fucking 99 cents or 55 cents. These are like more than McDonald's prices. Oh, people will come to the game. It's just like, I'm not a sports person. I don't give two fucks about basketball, baseball, hockey, whatever. The only hockey I care about is tonsil hockey. If they're having a game and their concessions is open and we have the money or a credit card, we will pop by and get something. Because the food there, it sounds kind of like what I was saying about food trucks. The same attitude. Their food there, because they have an actual fucking facility to make this stuff, is good. The burgers they make is good. If I want a burger, I'll go get a burger. I'm not saying, oh my God, we have to eat there every time. But if we're in the area and it smells good and it sounds good and they're open, we'll get something. Like bowling alley food. Bowling alley has the best comfort fucking food. Grilled cheese, a cheeseburger. I mean, I don't drink beer. But I'll go and get a cherry Coke or a root beer, get a burger, split a thing of fries, because the things of fries they give you are huge, kind of like at Burger Bar at Roy. And this hill is dense. And the rocks are slippery because it's been raining. Oh, look at that. I didn't slip and tumble to my death. Over there, a few winters ago, I slipped, barely touched this ice. I slipped, did a flip in the air, and fell square on my back. But it must have been just like one of those really low falls. And of course I was wearing my winter layers, so that kind of broke my fall. And plus being fat, my blubber tends to shield me from excessive amounts of pain. Yeah, so I don't know. I guess I'm lucky. I guess I am a lucky person where, because I think I was only like 34, 35 when that happened. Maybe 36. It wasn't that long ago. It was maybe 2 or 3 years ago in the winter time. Like I'm talking December, January, there was snow and ice everywhere. You know, because we still lived up in Sunset. Sunset was my main house. I think at that point it became my main house. The Clinton place was just, my roommate doesn't know about the Clinton place. I've not told him about the Clinton place. I was using one of their sheds for storage. Or actually, no, it was in the garage for storage. Had a safe. And I know what you're thinking. Oh, people living there, they're on drugs. There's one person who was on drugs. And, they worked all the time, believe it or not. The druggie actually had a job. I had stayed the night in the Clinton place. I'm not going to point out where the house was. I know it's been demolished by now, I think. If it hasn't been demolished, then it's definitely been bought and remodeled and has been rehomed with people, with new people living there. I'm not going to point out where it was, but I never stayed the night there with the intention of I'm going to sleep here. I did stay over throughout the night. Like, I stayed there and I was awake from the time I checked in, which was about 9 p.m. to about 7 a.m. which at 7 a.m. I left my Sunset friend's place and went to sleep in the spare room, and I slept until about noon. And then that was my routine, because I'd sleep on the floor in a sleeping bag because I didn't have a bed. And then when my mom's ex-husband came out from California, I got to keep that bed that I used to sleep in. That bed is a huge fucking bed. It's a queen. When they said it's a queen size bed, I believe it. Because it takes up so much fucking space. I'm wondering if I can do a mattress trade-in or something. Because I know it's been used, it's been slept on, animals have been on it. I need a downsize. I need a downsize to a smaller bed, and that will save me space. Because I have no idea how big a room I'm going to have in the new place. I'm assuming it's probably going to be small. These newer buildings usually have 2 bedrooms the minimum, and I think the bedrooms are usually on scale, where they're both kind of big. Because they built them in mind with people having multiple kids or multiple young couples moving in. It's like really the only positive thing I can say about the whole Clearfield apartment project is it does mean more places to live. Did they start building that? Oh, those are the street lights. They're supposed to put a Foxy's or wherever. Fat Cats, Foxy's, whatever. In this area. The city approved of it years ago. And I've yet to see any kind of like building or construction being done. And this area here is kind of similar to that main street in Roy with Ocean Mart. That used to be Albertsons and all that. So, I don't know. I don't know what they're going to do. There's not even a store in that main building. It might be under construction, but there is nothing in there. And I don't know how construction of that Fat Cats or Foxy's, whatever it's called, affects these other stores. That main store used to be in Albertsons. That's where Albertsons, well, it didn't move to there from Roy. This one was here at the same time the Roy one was. Rent to own. We might have to go to rent to own. We just might. It's really weird to me. Yeah, so they're not doing anything with any of these other... Wow. They're just focusing on this main building that used to be Albertsons. That's where it's going to be the new business. Fat Cats. Yeah, Fat Cats. Movies, bowling. I thought it was Foxy's. Maybe it changed and it's Fat Cats now. I remember it Foxy's, so maybe it's Fat Cats. This used to be Albertsons. Those were the two entrances. Produce aisle, general aisle, or general entrance, produce entrance. Like how Target does it. And Walmart does it, because Walmart copied fucking Target. I'm saying Walmart copied Target because the Super Target in Riverdale has always been a Super Target. With groceries, a GM side, a grocery side. Then the Target that used to be, where it's now a Home and Earth store or whatever. Home living store, home and decor. Used to be a Walmart. And they used to close at midnight. They used to be closed at midnight. So are they extending that area out behind these buildings? Is that what that is? Well, it says this is coming 2024. I'm guessing the project got stalled because it is 2024 already. I'm guessing they mean later 2024. Like Morgan's Drag Race Season 5. I said specifically coming later this year, 2024. And I'll give you a hint, it's starting way sooner than Season 4 did. I totally dropped the ball with that premiere. Let's premiere it at the end of October. And then have it fucking... Because I took too many days off from working on it because I was just kind of crazy at the time and having a meltdown. And, Dollar Tree. They left all their lights on. I don't like this Dollar Tree anyway because there's no frozen food aisle. Are these supposed to be apartments here? Then that would make sense if this was apartments. People are like, why don't you live out there? Because there's no fucking bus out here. And people are like, well, it can't be apartments because look at those big bay doors. Yeah, because those newer buildings have those doors. So you can rent a truck. Look at how big this is. This is an apartment. I guess maybe it could be a store, not an apartment. I'm not gonna walk through all this. This is fucking mud. Well, do they normally have apartments right next to stores? Yes. Yes, they do. I think it's going to be a mini strip mall in the same vein as this one, actually. Now that I think about it. It's got the same bricking design as like that Walmart. And there's those load cargo doors. This might actually be, what is it, a Target maybe? Oh my god, if it was a Target. Because I've been wanting a Target out here for fucking years, and that was when we lived in Sunset. I've been wanting to have a Target down here in Clinton forever. This is exactly the same type of building as Walmart. This might actually just be a Sam's Club. A Costco, Sam's Club. It's literally the same bricking and mortar as Walmart. It's not going to be a Target. All Target buildings have that weird, ugly white stucco. And those columns in the front and those red, ugly balls in the front. It's going to be a Sam's Club or a Costco. Walmart copied when they all became super Walmarts instead of regular, like 8 a.m. to 12 a.m. Walmarts where they're only open like till midnight. What they did is they copied the Target method of having AM and GM. Targets were open till like 9 or 10. That's when Target decided, or Walmart decided, we're going to be open all night. Costco, I don't know how long Costco's been around for. They've been around for a while though. But they copied, like if you go to any Costco, a lot of them have the same color scheme, brick and mortar color scheme as... Wait, what? Championship Martial Arts, and it's in a fucking bank. Can I pay by going through the teller? Hi, my son would like to be a black belt. He'd like it accomplished by New Year's. That's fucking hilarious. Hey, at least it's not a fucking fly-by-night church. And what do I mean by fly-by-night church? What I mean is any of these buildings, 7-Eleven, McDonald's, Rite Aid, could go out of business. Some fucking... And there are always people with money because you need money to be able to have the loans to get these places, these buildings. And they open them as just some random generic non-denominational church. Like Christianity is the most fucking splintered religion where they can't agree upon anything, where they all need to fucking... They all need to take their collective balls and go home because they can't agree really on anything. They can't even agree on basic tenets in the Bible, but they can agree upon that they disagree. So we need to start our own religion. I think this video is going to be a bit longer than our Roy video. That was just such perfect timing. What I like about the crossing lights here in Clinton, when you press them, you can hear it. So if you're deaf, or not deaf, Jesus Christ, if you're blind, you can't see it, but you can hear it. They light up, so if you're deaf, you can see it. And they actually fucking work when you press the button. Who would have thought? Wild concept, right? Wingstop. I've never eaten at Wingstop. Wingstop, the type of people I've seen on YouTube and TikTok who just want their fucking goddamn Wingstop in that one video are fucking trashy. We got some cars down here doing a drug deal or whatever. Cold Stone is amazing. I fucking love Cold Stone. That reminds me, I got some sherbet. Is it sherbet? It's not sorbet. Sherbet. Sherbet. ice cream to eat at home when I get home. I completely devoured the green and the orange. So now all I have left is it's either raspberry or strawberry. Oh, of course my finger's blocking the lens. America's best. Hey, at least it didn't become a random Christian church. I mean, they really are. They're like parasites. Someone once said they're like hermit crabs because hermit crabs will make shells out of anything. I think they're more like parasites. Instead of getting a healthy, vibrant business, even if it's a newer business, that's going to help the local economy and bring in some more revenue, especially with younger people, it's a fucking fly-by-night church. And those places stay around for fucking ever. At least 10 years. Because the IRS and local government and the council and the leaseholders and all the other fucking people involved collectively agreed upon or decided, well, technically it's not a bankrupt business. It's just a church nobody goes to anymore. That T-Mobile used to be didn't that used to be a Starbucks, or is that on the other side? Starbucks is the most overhyped fucking uppity white person Karen place to ever go. Oh, believe me, I've been accused of being non-white many times. Because the only white people thing I really like is like pumpkin spice. I love that. And I don't even really know if it's pumpkin spice. Apple spice I love. But it's like this pumpkin, cream pumpkin scent that reminds me of fall. And then mango or melon berry, watermelon berry or whatever. Or no, cucumber. Cucumber reminds me of summer. Because your nose, sense of smell, is very strongly tied to memories. This place is a 24-hour fitness. I thought, how many times living in Sunset and Clinton would I patronize that place? Not even once. What's that meme? Not even once. Drugs, not even once. Gym membership, not even once. Not even once. I had, for dinner before I left, a few hours before I left, I had some steamed white rice with some veggies and some pot stickers. The pot stickers were my protein. I was going to chop up some chicken nuggets to put in there, but some fucking buddy ate them all. So all that was left in there were these nasty chicken tenders that I do not like. They're gross as hell. So I was just like, well, I'll just pop in some pot stickers. I mean, it worked out, more or less. I had my spring roll. Oh my god, those are so good. The spring rolls I got from Ocean Mart. I mean, they're egg rolls, but spring rolls. That's like a cop parked over there. I think that's a cop. I'm not 100% sure. They really will go out of their way, park their fucking car where nobody's going to be at night, because they're like, we can't let kids come out, young adults, teenagers, because Lord forbid if they come out and they start practicing their half pipe or whatever. Instead of parking at an intersection, you know, like idling there, because they don't, I mean, it's a car-centric economy. We have no walkable cities in Utah anymore. It's dog-centric and car-centric. The two go hand in hand. Here, let me turn on my light so you can see. The two go hand in hand. And I find cops never catch the bad guys. They never catch the bad guys. Like, they're supposed to be tracking speed. Why not tracking it here on a busy fucking street? That takes you all the way out to a main street, State Street. Clinton City. Park and offices, that's what that says. I don't know why it's so far away in the camera. Oh, these people finally got around to taking down their Halloween shit. Amazing. And they planted some trees. It's probably a whole different family that lives there now. They had their Halloween and Christmas stuff up from like fucking ages ago. And I just remember thinking, does anybody even live there? Or are they dead? Or, I don't know. Dead, disabled, some other ways incapacitated. It's really funny because you go to all the way into the end of the street. It brings you to this street doesn't bring you to Smith's. That's like a few streets over. It brings you to State Street by what used to be Saigon Market. Now it's a Mexican food truck. And then what used to be a 7-Eleven. We're on the wrong side of the street. Actually, no cap. No cap, as the kids say. We are on the wrong side of the street. No cap. This is going to be a long video compared to my first one, because I'm several miles away from my house. Is there a dog inside the church barking? Oh no, it's just the missionaries. Never mind. I've seen missionaries out past like 10, riding their bikes, looking miserable. And I just think, wow, if only they were treated like human beings. If only they were treated human. Yeah, their only incentive is they paid, and I think their family helps, obviously, to go on their mission. The church does not pay or provide at all. I think they only do is find a sponsor family for them to stay at. I think sometimes they have apartments they rent out where all the missionaries live. I've seen that a few times. There's no incentive. The reward is the mission itself, saving people. Which I guess makes sense because it's like a religious matter, but this place used to have a house or a trailer here back in the day. This one. It's really funny how two different grandmas that lived in trailer, small houses in the Sunset Roy area. That to me is wild. And they didn't know each other because they're from, one's from my biological family, the other's from my adoptive family. So I just remember that is just, it is so funny because they're technically, we're on this same street. So I think the adoptive grandma lived up here because we would always get in the car and go to Smith's. Sometimes we go to Maverick. My biological, she isn't actually my grandma, but because she's old, she told me to call her grandma. Was down there because we would walk over to Maverick and get peach ice cream or lemon or whatever, which they don't serve that stuff anymore, I guess, from what I've seen. They still do better than 7-Eleven though. This house, I could have sworn this place was abandoned for the longest time. I thought this place was abandoned. And there's a weird smell. Oh. Just being around it, there's a weird smell. Like, not a bad smell, but like a weird clinical smell. See, it's gone now. It's gone now since I crossed the tracks. Or not crossed the tracks, since I gone up the street. Since I moved away, the smell is gone. But there's a weird smell. Oh, they're demolishing houses all the way down here too, on this side of the street. This is that house where that asshole dog lived. Yep, they're gonna try to demolish all the houses on this side of the street, on both sides, to put in fucking townhomes. It's bullshit. That big old house was here. It's gone now. That's been bulldozed. They're not even wasting any time. They're just going in, bulldozing it. Ridiculous. Ridiculous. If I owned a house, I said to my Sunset guy friend, I said, I'd let you move in because I hate to see you move back in with your mom. Because she's manipulative and terrible. How about they start work on remodeling this place, this school? If they're so hell-bent on tearing down houses and putting up townhomes, why don't they give that school a facelift? If I owned a house, I'd want part of the house to be cut off from the other, like a guest home. And that's what I'd want. So then, because his mom, I don't like her. She's an asshole. Then they can go into his part of the house and I never have to see them and presumably hear them. So there's that. And that would be just lovely. That would be just lovely, in my opinion. There's the Maverick. My adopted grandma's trailer was there. We would walk up here to Maverick when the weather was nice, usually in the summertime, before the sun went out. Get some little ice creams they don't sell anymore. And my adoptive grandma lived up there. Biological lived that way. Before Maverick, adoptive grandma lived up that way. After the Maverick. And she only went to Maverick at my behest. The biological grandma loved to go to the Maverick. And I would always be able to get a comic, well, not free. She would buy it for me. Obviously not free. But I would always be able to get one comic book that I wanted, because they used to sell like Archie comic books and Simpsons comic books. Oh my God. At least when I get to the main street, I won't be that much farther away from home. This place here, they used to have a pet shop down here, if I recall, and a comic store used to be in here. And that was way, way, way in the 90s. So that was a long time ago. A long, long, long time ago. Yeah, so I know that because my one friend who died, his mom would take him out here and his sister to get new fish or whatever the fuck. Fish or a turtle, because he had turtles before. And they probably died. There's our favorite haunted house over here. Tonight has just been a night full of nostalgia here in Clinton. I'm curious to see if they bulldoze that one house that I mentioned. I mean, they bulldozed the shit down there. So, clearly they're not fucking around. You can't even see it in the dark. And there's a train coming anyway. There's the house. There's no way to get in, as far as I know. I hope these recordings keep. I hope they don't just vanish when I'm done recording them. I'd love to be able to just go into that house and film, but it's like everything's nailed up. And you know they're going to demolish it and it's going to be gone, and I never got to record the inside. And that's a fucking shame. Clang, clang, clang goes the trolley. Ring, ring, ring goes the bell. Or ding, 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 whatever. We found a friend of Dorothy. No, back when those movies came out, they were for straight people. Now, if you know lyrics to any Judy Garland song, you're queer. Part of this, there used to be a house right there. The rest of this used to be field. Was field. But there used to be a house. And you can see the mud and the piping sticking out. That it was right next door to this house. Oh, all that mud. Oh my god, it looks like diarrhea. It looks how I feel. I filmed here when I went to Allie's Pizza. I walked down here and filmed. This house is gone. And it was a newer looking house like that one. Oh wait, no it wasn't. It was that smaller, it was that weird, smaller fucking house that was really designed weird. The house over there was new-ish, but it was old. Like a lot of the houses here, like that one, were new, circa early 90s, late 80s. Maybe mid 90s when they were built. And now the city is going, oh, we need to demolish everything again to make way for townhomes. There's that one house that has the garage on the side and the entrance. There's a big giant fucking mud pile. Ugh. Disgusting. And they damaged this fence too. Getting this out, they damaged it. I hope the people that live here get their money's worth for that fence, at least. I can't tell from here. Did they demolish that other house? They turn on their fucking brights. Here you go, buddy. You fucking dipshit. Yep, they did. In fact, the equipment is still parked there. That house that used to be there next to the haunted house is gone. Gone. I at least got that house on film. I didn't go in the yard or try to enter the house, but at least it's on film. Yeah, that house is fucking gone, man. The one house at the end before the tracks is gone. That took me by surprise because it's like, it was always there. The city, and that's in Clinton. The houses before that are in Sunset. But it's I can't remember if this is 1900 or not. I don't think it's 1900. The main street's 1900, but this is a different street. It's a cooperative between Clinton and Sunset. So there were a couple of houses here demolished. There was a house here that was demolished. It was a tiny house. And I think there was a small house right there. It might have just been that one. Because I think what I'm misremembering, this has been gone for a long time, at least since 2018 or 2019. There was a white house here, a normal size house, and a little tiny small house right here, I think. And then, of course, right at the tracks, you have this big house that used to be here. That's gone very recently. At least to me, it's new. Okay, this is 1800, the 1800 project. And they're about as serious about this as they are in Roy with the 5600 project, because they wasted no time. Well, 5600 project, they went in there because that's by UDOT and not developers. This is all developers. This is all done by developers because they want townhomes and condos put there. Sad. I wonder if that one trailer house has been demolished. I'm pretty sure no one lives there anymore. Well, that answers my question. I can see the church parking lot already from here. So they must have demolished it already. Or no, it's still there. It's further back from the street. That's why I couldn't see it.